G'day everyone, it's Turbo Tristan. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're starting our journey here at EXEDY Clutches, and you can see right there on the wall, #1 for clutch. We're here in Project Maga, making Accords great again. This guy has the worst slipping clutch ever. It barely even made it here, but we've taken it for its last drive with a really terrible clutch. I'll show you what it's like and why we're changing it. It's undrivable, honestly. I'm really just being stubborn and driving it around with a burnt out clutch, and I'll give you some demos later on. But now let's go see the guys inside. I just let Mark and the team here at EXEDY just go ham on whatever they think is best suited for this car. Could be anything. I do know we're getting a new flywheel and the full kit. I'm so glad that we have EXEDY on board as a sponsor to the channel. And you'll see we've got the Evo running, so I'll be testing out that clutch as well. And we're already running the ballistics clutch in my Civic, my track car, and it is amazing. We've got one in Ronda. That's just actually just a heavy duty, and we've done so many endurance races in that and just absolutely punished it. So many people that, you know, haven't driven a manual in ages, slipped the clutch, burn it out. It's still going strong. We are still campaigning that same clutch in the budget enduro. It's been 2 years now and the thing's copped a beating. But let's go see what they've got for us. EXEDY #1 for clutch. I don't even honestly know what is in here, but I trust the guys at EXEDY. This is going to be the premium gear. So we're just about to head out now. I thought I would take a minute to show you what is going on with this clutch and why it's so bad and why it needs changing. So I'm going to put the camera in here like this. Now you're going to watch the speedo not really move and the tacho rev up. And what you want to see is when the tacho revs up, the speedo goes at the same time. Okay, second gear. Clutch slip, clutch slip. Not really accelerating. Let's try third. Barely grabbed then. So this clutch is very dead. Nothing's happening. The speedo's not even moving. So here we are back at the shop. The Accord is on the hoist. There's a whole bunch of mods here on this table. Let's check out what we've got and what we've got going in. Obviously, the EXEDY parts are the exciting ones and the whole purpose of this video, but we've got a whole bunch of stuff to do while we're going. Firstly, to fix up the roadie, we've got a new set of mirrors. We got these from ELUSIVE Racing. They keep some spares, not a lot of people know. And the bonus is this one came with a spoon mirror. Got a bunch of gaskets and rear main seal, which we got from ELUSIVE Racing as well. I have an RBC plenum. So these are the big boy for making big power in an NA setup. I have the same one on my K24 swapped Civic, and it does the job. Makes 170 kilowatts just with bolt on. This is what you want in your Accord. Alcius have come to the party with a brand new radiator and a brand new water pump. Now the radiator and the coolant in there is working. I don't trust the age of the radiator, but the coolant I know was brand new. The trans fluid I know was brand new. The engine oil was used, probably due for a change. But a lot of the other stuff was really well maintained. But we're gonna swap that over anyway, because we've got the engine out. It's gonna be easy, and we're gonna switch all that stuff over. So from PROTEX, we have a brand new brake master cylinder. And we also have a clutch slave cylinder and a clutch master cylinder here. This one, I've already gone ahead and modified it with the delay valve delete. So with the clutch master cylinder, I've gone and ran the Honed Developments delay valve delete in there. The PROTEX clutch master cylinder runs everything just the same as OEM, including the delay valve, which is down in here. I've just removed that. There's a little, not quite a spring, but there's just room for that diaphragm to move. Just really simple to install. Just remove all the bolts, swap over this plate, and it gets rid of that delay valve. So that should help save this clutch longer and not burn it out, because it won't be slipping or anything, just for even a point of a second. Hopefully we should notice some difference. I've been trying to talk the guys into putting one on Ronda as well, but the EXEDY clutch that's in Ronda and all the PROTEX parts have been holding up really well. So we have used these in Ronda. We've done I think we've done 11 track days in it, and most of those have been 6-hour endurance races. So I think we've done about 9 6-hour endurance races. And we are running this same clutch kit, which is a EXEDY racing clutch. It's a single Sport Series disc, just a heavy duty disc. So this is it here. This is the same one we're actually running in the ED K-Swap. Really, really good clutch. But the main dealio here is the K20 Lighten flywheel, which we'll be running. Brand new, all machined up. These weigh half as much as the factory flywheel, and when I get the other one out of the car, we're going to do a comparison on the scales side by side so you guys can see the huge weight saving and the rotational mass that's going to come off the engine. Is going to help it rev really, really smoothly and quickly, which is what you want in an NA car. Comes, of course, with brand new Japanese bearings, all of the tools, and a genuine Honda spigot bush as well. I love the way it comes packaged. Everything's in its own individual box so they can't damage each other in transit. Really, really well packaged. Sports Tough kit, premium. And just like that, for you, the engine's out. For me, that was like 5 hours worth of stress and pain. But she's out. So now the fun begins. We've got to pull off the gearbox, give everything a clean up, change the water pump, throw on a bunch of gaskets, rummage around in my tub of paint and see what cool colors I have left so I can paint the rocker cover, put the EXEDY clutch on, put it all back together, and then she's good to go. I did remember also that I had these from WHITELINE, which is the subframe bushes, so they just go in here like that and replace those. These ones are actually in really, really good condition, and there's no real reason to change them besides the fact that I have these. I'm not sure if I'm going to run them. I might donate these to Rhonda, so I will decide later on if I'm going to run them in this car or donate them to Rhonda. It's all apart inside the gearbox, as you would expect on a car with a fried clutch. Literal crust everywhere. And that bearing is totally flogged out. Everything else looks good. There's no oil and stuff in there, so that's the main thing. It's not wet. I'm still going to do the rear main seal. Are you guys ready to see how trash this clutch is? I have never seen one like this. I've seen shattered clutches where everything just blows apart. I've seen heaps of slipping clutches. I've seen worn out clutches, but I've never seen one that is like this. All right, let's start with the pressure plate there. All kinds of purple and blue. All right, the next thing that you want to look at is all of this stuff here on the ground. This is actual chunks of clutch material, whatever it is, just absolutely crumbled, melted, everything just crushed and crumbled away. Over here to the flywheel, exactly what you'd expect, a mirror image of the pressure plate on the front. Lots of high and low spots. You can not only see them but feel them. And then down here, this thing, you can see down to all the buttons. The springs in there are just absolutely thrashed. Now this clutch plate says on it FCC. If anyone knows the brand, let me know, but I can tell you it's absolutely, it just would not drive. It was slipping, falling apart, and now we know why. Exactly what we expected. Yeet. Alrighty people, it's the next day. I've done some tidying up, just painted a few little bits and pieces on the engine. I've replaced a bunch of the gaskets I said I was going to. So here is the spigot bush, replaced with a genuine Honda one, which comes in the EXEDY kit. We've replaced the rear main seal, and we've also replaced the VTEC solenoid gasket. There was nothing in there, so just precautionary. And also the VCT, variable cam timing gasket and filter. Both of those had nothing in them, so that is sweet and mint. I just did a little bit of painting here and here. Painted up the cover on this guy as well. Replaced the water pump with the Alcius water pump. Brand new oil filter. from Ryco. These are off the Spool Up website. And also the VTEC gasket has been replaced as mentioned earlier. And I gave this a lick of paint as well, just to make it all nice and schmick. Gearbox is all cleaned up. And I did give that a hit of silver on the outside as well. We're just gonna weigh everything to see what sort of weight saving we are getting here with this swap over. 14.5 kilos. And just to remind you guys, this is missing half of the plates on the actual clutch plate. They were just disintegrated away. So that's gone to powder. Powder doesn't weigh much, but 14.15 I think that was. Let's throw on the EXEDY one and see how much of a weight saving we're getting with this ultra lightweight flywheel. So including everything, we are down to 8.8 kilos. So we're saving 6 kilograms of rotational mass on the engine. That is freaking insane. That is a crazy amount of weight that we are taking away from this engine. Now, that's gonna help it rev, it's gonna help pickup, it's gonna help with response, pedal response, all that sort of stuff. And it's just gonna make it drive really, really nice. Flywheel is on and torque to spec, 118 Newton meters, and I've marked every single one of those with a little stripe to show that I've torqued them. Little shout out here to Hone Developments again, as always, just this really simple little tool. Bolts into the factory spot, just where a normal gearbox bolt goes, just a little short one. And this really awesome zinc plated flywheel lock kit. Really, really cheap part. So glad I bought it. It's come in handy so many times when I'm working in the shed by myself. I don't need to juggle different pry bars when I'm holding the flywheel steady to torque down all of the flywheel bolts. I can just do it all by myself. So totally worth it. Awesome little tool from Honed. Make sure when you are fitting your flywheel that you do clean it off with some brake cleaner. I'm gonna really, really scrub this down and make sure there is no oil or grease or anything on there and I'm also gonna wash my hands just because we don't want any contaminants in between the flywheel or the clutch plate. So let's get that sorted right now. And there we have it, EXEDY heavy duty clutch with lightweight racing flywheel, all bolts, torque to spec. Now we can actually put this back in the car and get ready to actually drive this thing how we wanna drive it. I'm so excited for this. One thing I did forget to mention was, just like we cleaned the flywheel, make sure you clean the pressure plate, the metal surfaces that'll be contacting the friction plate of the clutch. Make sure those are clean of any oil or anything. Now it's time to remove the Hone Developments little helper and stick the gearbox on. I've been making steady progress on putting the engine back in the car and getting everything all buttoned up. I'm at the stage where I need to put in my brand new Alceus radiator. So that's Alceus. You can grab these from Burson. One thing before you check out your old radiator, don't forget to take this off that goes on there. So that's your lower hose adapter. I don't know why it has an adapter for an adapter, but it does. Again, just replacing this one just due to maintenance and its age. 2007/08 complied. Old as radiator, some love taps in there. And I don't know how old it is or the condition of it, and it's just better to put a brand new one in always. So I'm gonna do that. Thanks to our friends at Alceus and Burson Auto Parts. So I'm gonna get this on, put the fans on, and just put all the connectors and everything back on, and as simple as dropping it in. Getting ready to put oil in the engine. I thought it'd be time that I grab an Exo Racing sump plug. These are magnetic sump plugs. I keep them in stock at all times on the spoolup.com.au website. So support me, support you, and grab yourself one of these magnetic sump plugs. The factory ones do wear out. You got to replace the washers anyway, and they mess up the threads. This one has a really, really, really strong magnet. I can't get over how strong the magnet is on these. So I'm going to chuck that in. So if we ever get any metal let go in the engine, it'll catch it in this when it goes into the sump. It's super duper strong, this magnet. It's not just like a wimpy magnet. This is a mega strong magnet. Right in here. Look at that. Mega strong. So that will definitely catch anything that gets in the bottom of the motor. But that is a nice little piece all the way from UK to you on spoolup.com.au. So she's all ready to go back down on the ground. I just wanted to point out I've done the boomer makeover or the Burma restoration, which is just paint heaps of stuff with leftover high temp black paint cans that I had lying around. So all the subframe, the exhaust are all painted up. I also went ahead and changed the lower gearbox mounts as well, so they're all fresh and brand new. Now this is just taking a look at underneath how I've refreshed everything, painted the gearbox, painted the sump, and yeah, everything is nice and fresh now. So she's almost ready for a maiden voyage. Well, she's all back together, all back on the ground. Everything is sweet. I've given it a little test drive. The clutch is mint. I stalled it the first time because I wasn't used to driving it with an actual clutch. This one you just like gently ease it out and the car just starts moving, off you go. Nice soft pedal, just like OEM, but the clutch really bites and takes off. So what more could you want? I now have a perfectly running, functioning, driving with a mint clutch and flywheel package CL9. Now in the engine bay, what I've gone for is the OEM Plus look and the nice stealth look. So I've gone with the wrinkle black rocker cover with the polished Honda logo. I'm running the Type R silver plate there on top, the coil cover. And I got the factory VTEC 2.4 DOHC cover, which covers the ugly factory injectors and fuel rail. And all I needed to do to make that fit on the RBC plenum was just trim a little bit here, here, and here, just so that clears and fits perfectly, which it does. We're also running the J35 65mm ID throttle body. It's just under 3 inches on the end, so it's like 70mm this end, but 65 at the butterfly with a thermal gasket. And I've began to make up a custom intake. I will wrinkle coat this in black, same as this, so it looks factory. I just need to go to RACEWORKS and grab a 3-inch to 3¼ inch expander just to cover that little gap there. And then weld on this dash 10 bung just on here so I can run the breather back into the intake. We're still running the charcoal canister breather and we're still running the temp sensor there, just tucked out of the road. For now, I'm enjoying the open dort sounds from no filter, nothing there, just straight sucking hot air. I've ordered a K&N in-box panel filter and I've removed all the stuff down there in the bottom. So RBC, J35, 3-inch intake with a K&N filter, all sealed up. It's not going to suck any water because it's picking up just inside the guard down there, protected from heat and everything like that. So really stoked with that. Once I get this fitting welded on, get that plumbed up, paint that wrinkle black, you won't even be able to tell. It's just going to look OEM plus. It's time to take it for a rip. I've swapped out the mirrors. I didn't show too much on that because it's pretty boring, just taking off door trims and putting mirrors on. But we now have working mirrors without any cracks or anything in them. And yeah, everything is sweet and mint. Alrighty, let's go for a first drive. Crack some VTEC. Remember, we've got the open pod filter, air filter. So it's going to be quite loud. No input at all from the throttle. It just takes off. Perfection. So there's a couple of things to mention that I didn't get around to doing. One was from pure laziness. I didn't fit the PROTEX brake master cylinder, and the reason for that was pure laziness. I'd only just bled up the brakes the week before with the CU2 upgrade and the pads, so I got lazy. There's nothing wrong with this one. One thing I also didn't get around to fitting, that was just from pure difficulty. I couldn't get the bolts out of the pedal to remove the clutch master cylinder, so I didn't do the honed delay valve delete. I should have, and I would have if I could have, but I couldn't get that one nut out, or one bolt out. So yeah, that absolutely broke me. I was able to remove the entire engine, the subframe, every single part of the car, the gearbox, the clutch, do an entire freaking engine swap, but I couldn't get one bolt out to remove the clutch pedal. I was going to reinforce the clutch pedal and everything at the same time, but I actually did inspect this one. It's not cracked or broken or anything yet. If it ever does become cracked or broken and I do have to pull that out, then I will switch that over. Wow, you can really hear that VTEC in first gear. There is a break-in procedure with EXEDY clutches, and it does mention that in the instructions. You're meant to do 1,000 kilometers of regular driving, nothing too strenuous. Don't rev the car past a certain number. We didn't have the chance to do that in Ronda. Ronda's a race car. We put it straight on the track and went straight to redline every single gear for 6 hours, and the clutch has done 9, maybe 10 events since then with no bed-in procedure. But if you do want to use your warranty and have every benefit of having a brand new EXEDY genuine clutch, you should really follow that break-in procedure. I didn't do it with my own Civic with the ballistic clutch kit. I had to run that straight on the dyno and tune it, so that did, I don't know, 20 power runs to 8,500 RPM. Still perfect, absolute mint clutch, the ballistic clutch. And with this one I am going to do more of a break-in procedure, but I am a YouTuber at the end of the day, and I am supposed to do stupid things. It's in the name, it's in the job description. You got to do dumb stuff. So yeah, I'm going to send it for you guys, and hopefully you appreciate it with a like, share and subscribe. And if you're lucky, I'll do a cheeky launch control. In case you didn't watch the first video, I did a compression test. Everything is absolutely perfect, even though it's got 289,000 kilometers on it. 175 across all cylinders. Very high compression. This engine was very well looked after. When I took the rocker cover off and inspected everything, really clean, really tidy inside. No marks or scores or anything on the camshafts, just absolutely mint. So really happy with this purchase. And yeah, I finally get to rip on it. Cheeky Chong data launch control. That was with traction control on, mind you. Speed limit perfectly. And that's enough of being a stupid YouTuber. Do not do that with your brand new EXEDY clutch. So just recapping what we've covered in this video so far is a new clutch from EXEDY. So shout out EXEDY for the new heavy duty clutch and light and flywheel. We've done new rocker cover gasket, VTEC gasket, VCT gasket, painted the rocker cover, wrinkle black. We've done an RBC, we've done a J35 throttle body, also painted all the gearbox, made all that look really nice. New alternator, fan belt, air conditioning belt is done, brand new Alcius radiator. We've also got a K&N filter on order, custom intake pipe, which I've got to finish that off. In the previous video we did CU2 front brake twin piston upgrade. We've done a WHITELINE rear sway bar, we've done WHITELINE sway bar links all the way around, and also WHITELINE caster corrected front lower control arms. I didn't end up going with the delay valve delete in the clutch or the new clutch master, but I did run the clutch slave from PROTEX, and I didn't change the brake booster from PROTEX yet, so I've got those spare. No real need to change them as yet. Also replaced both front mirrors, which I picked these up used from ELUSIVE. This one has the blue spoon mirror. So getting closer and closer to making this Accord totally mint. I've got some coilovers on their way. They should be here next week. As soon as I get the roadie done, I will put the coilovers in, and I'm considering making a 2.5-inch catback exhaust. Have not decided yet. Don't even know if I'm keeping this car. If you want it, let me know. But it's now driving mint. Brand new coolant, oil filter, power steering fluid. It's all been flushed. Everything is basically brand new on the car. So really stoked with it. We are making Accords great again. Go Auto Care gave the car a full detail inside and out. Inside's like brand new. That is going to be it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to spool up. Plenty of Accord products and stuff that you can buy on spoolup.com.au. So thanks for watching. It's too damn hot to be outside in the middle of summer in Australia. So I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.